Yes, I am. I was good. How do you like
Black holes? I hope so.
What's the cover art?
Noel
Okay.
I think it's 30 bucks. I'm pretty sure those pictures are free.
It's like
Yeah. I feel like I've had a weird experience. Nothing
You like that, don't you? You like that.
I would take her car. Yes! I would take everyone's car.
Maybe I'll start with Ashley's car.
You also drove me with my mom. When I visited my mom. I did. I drove you. I think that was her. I think I just came to God. You came to God. Yeah. I dropped you off. Shit to do.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Are you next?
Right, Ashley.
Where's the Cuban baby Ashley lives?
Here we are, everybody. We're about to go live with some poetry. We're
Apparently
waiting.
TikTok said if I go live a few more times, they'll expand like my outreach or something.
Really?
No.
Did you go live on TikTok?
No. I mean that one that happened underground, I tried.
Oh, I see. Okay. So they're trying to encourage you.
Yeah, they want me to go live 2 more times before I can unlock. I guess like they'll send it out to more people if I unlock these features.
So they're going to promote you. They don't promote me. Whoever's watching out there, thank you for watching. Big exciting.
Let me know if you guys like my bangs. They're gonna grow out, but
Your bangs.
I just want them kind of short because they're gonna grow out by the end of the month.
Okay. Yeah.
But they're not that short.
It's like you're planning for later.
But they're not that short.
Yeah, no, they don't look like you've messed them up by cutting them too short. They look like they're probably about as short as you could cut them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna pay like money for them to just cut it like a centimeter or something.
A centimeter.
Yeah, so they can be perfect when my photo shoot happens in April.
What is that?
With this photographer, I'm actually gonna pay like, it's a good deal, I think. It's $200 the first hour, $100 the second, or the next hour. It's not that bad because I've talked to random people because everyone thinks that they're a photographer or whatever, and then you look at their portfolio and you're like, this looks like either like generic like graduation photos or really bad 35mm that anyone, like literally like my friend can take this 35mm photo of me for free. And they charge like
Yeah, I'm ready. What's that?
hundreds of dollars for like 10 photos, and it's like, what? Like, who's paying? Maybe I should go.
Yeah, you should. You should do it then.
Check. Hi, everybody. We're gonna resume shortly. Shit, where's my phone? Okay, so we got 2 more readers for the night, and then I'm going to read the preface. This next reader, a lot of you know as the host of the Easy Paradise open mic at KGB. They're the editor and publisher of Easy Paradise magazine. They've been published in Peach magazine, among other renowned publications. Please give a fucking warm round of applause for Matt Proctor.
KGB!
Thank you. That's right. I'll forever be associated with KGB.
Every Monday!
Every Monday for the rest of my life, for the rest of eternity. We will be there. Give it up for Gio and this incredible book. Hell yeah. It's really amazing. I love what you're doing. I love this book. I think it needs to be written. It's radical philosophy theory, and I love your PowerPoint. So thank you. I'm honored to be a part of this. Lulu.com is the future. I'm just going to read 2 pieces, one short and one kind of a longer piece. This first one is called On the Dot. This is from my big notebook. I've been writing in big notebooks. On the dot. Bought the wrong one, so now I have to go back. Do not disturb Daddy's happy time. Baby Ashley. Sleep, sleep, sleep for you. I am baby and you are daddy. It's always been reality rushing the stage. They crash together, performance, a jealous woman charging into the footlights, bringing our personal lives into the 5-minute time limit. A desecration of our job which seemed truthful to the duplicity and malice of existence. Sure, one of the tribe got eaten by a panther every once in a while, but I watched 2 Super Bowls with you, just one chapter in the book of life. Never had a sound check growl, 6 a.m., the Drella arrangement. 5 for force as reward sitting in the maelstrom of evening dialogue. This asylum cafeteria, tap to pay, scan of water to enter. The private confines of security force, unsanitary sanitarium. As long as you keep producing, the big pages don't help me. Trump is handing out flyers. You can't make fun of him. It's not funny. Will it come to this, that you'll get arrested? They'll solve immortality in a couple of years. If we survive, we'll all start aging backwards. Treasuries of yesterday, because societal function broke down, and there's no time or money to make anything well. What would be the point of that? Incentivize the micro-increments with pedestals of cheese to finance our lifestyle of macro-increment, controlling the breed flow into chads, busy from all ordering the same thing, can turn any book into a movie at the press of a button. Maybe it won't be very good, but it's a movie. Leading the counter-revolution upstairs, It went over their heads. Truncation mangles the idea to something confused for palpable with the hint of fruition. Pull one of those gasms before the tumble gets closed. On the dot. Thank you. And this is called Manic Panic. It's environmental. Manic Panic, February 27th, 2025. Sculpting the small mountain of performance, the venues for prejudice against musicians of interest. I can wait till next week. Why can't I get to sleep? They ship it from Sweetwater Warehouse in Indiana. Just a bunch of creeps and forums with home recording setups who love Rush. Using chocolate frosty as a dipping sauce at the expense of real food. My thoughts are stupid to you. Max's birthday, 29's not that old, hell of a good age. I did this in the meantime. Help me break out of jail over the hump. 1:42 a.m. sleepiness. Drowsiness valley ramps into action after 3 a.m. Stayed up for diner. Cost me 2 days. Grimes fucked Hitler and proudly had his baby. Sending a subscription to his cars. Walkie-talkie the meetup for revelatory speakeasy. 3 marble flights up, hidden in the attic. Set list impromptu in haste. Seem to do better when I don't think of anything. Don't pre-plan in advance. Sour Mash Week off Bill Maher. Cost 6/7 of 2 years. Let's have them. It was just a topic for discussion. Need to borrow Seafoam Fender Stratocaster. Do the electronics work? 1 for set. I'm out there with the people. Mentally disturbed. All the rich and famous are children thereof. Oh great, now the bar's against me. Have to work into the prevailing sentiments, whatever headwinds may be. Snap out of it. The library is empty, in case somebody comes to join me. Feeding ideas from a dalliance with the stacks. James Thurber, 92 stories, looking right at me from the free cart out front. I barely post anymore. Some nice paintings of faces behind a cloud of flames over a high school track. They were all MAGA sleeper cell agents, so who still wants Southern House? Fuck them. I was wary of library, empty, abundant food in Chinatown on my way to Seward Park Branch, off-site remote today. Working remotely, reading Philip Roth in Korean. Free view. It's bluer than it appears in my wild documentation. Hang from a bike going by, everybody recognized when the Levy Bread sample, an earthen berm from Brooklyn Tech. He used to teach at St. Anne's. He's too good to be friends with me. There's no room in my alone. The poetry sucks here. The section, I mean. You could use better knowledge and funding. Wood casement, orange setting low behind the towers downtown. Buses, people, cars. 169 bar. After 15 years, what is my life full of but this? The death of kids, how nobody can afford it, so hyper-billionaires taunt us with creepy impregnation fetish. You know what time it is? Almost to 500 views. Let it all fall apart faster seems to be the message of a tired populace surrendering to chemicals and food. I need another Frosty, French fries, chicken nuggets, bacon cheeseburger, lettuce. She doesn't want to live more than 5 years. Is that a cry for help or a ploy for attention? The Airbnb is very sweet but overplayed like traffic beams of mad rollers, rich ass lightning. I look a lot younger then, but I was younger. Getting my champagne on discount in a nightmare. Ongoing viscous membranes morphing like placenta with the slime of primordial birth. Not allowed to have water. It takes what shape it may. Had to switch seats in the aggressive sunset for a better vantage. Ruffles of hot orange, pink, tufted with bruised nests of purple and blue. It's like the sky is flying. Under the dusk-singed feathers of big lavender wings. The world is an ostrich, and we its ostrich egg. Open for 3 more hours till they close, but all my stuff is over there. No one cares that it's happening, that the actor was miscast. Thought I recognized you at the cafe across Division Street, but that may have been racist, or at least that's what my white liberal ass is afraid of. Making a good living as a background actor, paying $500 for a studio in Echo Park. We didn't leave the house till we were 15. Not like I spent my teens ranging far and wide. I prefer to sit against the wall. I wallow in the sundown's distraction and hope that it ends soon so I can get back to work. It's Maximilian's 29th birthday today. Happy birthday, Max. My play is all stuck together. I'm no Matt Gazda, but where can you read him? Also not Matt Starr, thank God. Famous,
Fuck both of them.
famous rich elite people should have better taste. But that is the scourge of our age, bad taste. Man spreaders probably get laid the most. That's my theory. Women demand a sense of entitlement. The assignment was to go wide, but I felt like doing this, needing multiple gurus, influences, and teachers, white and black musicians and artists collaborating with each other, melding genres, fusing cultures. I'm all in on Life Epic, which is the complete notebooks, not fascist science. Would Rambo be MAGA? Rest in peace, Pierre Jory and Gene Hackman, and Gene Hackman's dog. Two of them survived at his modest property outside Santa Fe, New Mexico. Provincial adoption of mass media center, cultural product like SCTV in Edmonton, looking at showbiz from the cold outside, it's all Great White North. Trying to break in, there is no in. All is outer. The center is everywhere, especially where you are. Makers of personal, immediate, diluted diary art when the IT department runs the world. My two cats, Pivar and Volokhonsky, could never build muscle, so stuck on the first floor of meaning forever. You don't do good by accident. I thought it was like Zen archery. You try to miss. Do they think about me as much as I think about them? Translating a memoir into line breaks, you're overthinking it. Big, airy studio, spring trip to a coast, go there with you. He recommends the Paris vlog. Pierre means stone. No, Pierre means Pierre. Jory means stone. Pushed out by the leverage of oncological stress brought about by our non-consensual king, we saw him together in the bunker. It was a pleasant interaction. Deja vu meeting us at the church tomorrow. Tickets to myself on Saturday, a group of friends from one to another. It's a drug that smells like ayahuasca. Shaving the flyers by my students who immediately superseded me. Some of it I agree with. Tell them to go easy on those first-time directors. Nobody went easy on me, they just left. Thrown back on the blank, the river takes many bodies onward in its path. Tide pools, estuaries, oxbows, waterfalls, strums, then picks, according to what's called for. The bookstore cat is named that. I don't have those friends after re-entry to dance once on a rooftop. Jonathan Tupin soul shake party. We get old as the business dies, or rather is handed back over to the people. I agree to disagree with flat detective noir Hemingway style, which also permeates Hollywood. Just ask Chinatown. Volleyball practice is indoors for the winter, splashing paint around the canvas. It made them good and strong to cut trailers with definitive ROI, which coincidentally was also the name of a French king. No longer slashing his way across an English garden, defying meaning with its own signifiers, a rag man, a can lady, picking the trash for small fortunes, making clothes out of crushed aluminum. Can't tell you how happy I am to see you. Transferred to the Upper West to steward the manuscript which died in the age of network processors. There were dozens of meanings which could be applied to that. Banned before it got started to try anything. How many followers do you have? Which I haven't been accruing through the microspectacle, the shrimp cocktail moviola of 1849, living on the freedom of grass times pumped from the well. It was a takeoff on hats with all legal variegation. There's more seconds mapped onto some minutes. It requires slow and with reflection. There's happy to do that in the wood-framed Victorians by the beach. Why would you live there if you don't like Bitcoin action? I'm so old, it seems the world is a class at my feet. Everybody's younger, so I have to be the teacher. My kids should be 10 or 15 by now, but at least I got to enjoy it while I still have hair. Not to be replaced by any grandchildren assassinated by arguments I had with my grandpa. Communism versus capitalism. I was always in the bullied liberal minority, made fun of by the other cousins. Something feminine and therefore suspicious about being a man who's a Democrat. Masculinity is conservative. It's strong, selfish, entrepreneurial with enforced borders and cops. Expunging the humor is an alternative to gullet the pollution. Literature is the refuge of soft slowness. Going back over what you just said, making my way uptown to 14th Street, the Horizon Line where they have what I need. Through the fashionable clutter of Soho, she can't stand that we aren't obsessed. Streetcar is Neil Simon's very favorite play. 7 minutes more to tabulate the socials of my smoke break, which is indefinite in perpetuity. Don't be pissy looking back because you're hedged in your doing now by misguided colonial dissident apologia. To colonize the forefront of what's amusing to your peer group, i.e. generation, by way of the technologies, systems of organization, and hallmark experiences of shared age. You have to do it young to get to the moon before everybody else. Good luck. We love the book. Julia, man.
Give it up one more time for Matt Proctor, everybody. Matt Proctor and his giant notebooks. All right, this last featured reader we have, super prolific. I'm personally super smitten with their work. They've been published by Poor Claudia, Sasquatch Books, Black Ocean, and they have a forthcoming book with Dopamine Press that they'll tell you all about. Please give a warm round of applause for our final feature, Harper Galvin.
I'm so excited for this book. Also, I love how filthy the poetry community is here. I feel like I found my spiritual home, and I loved everything I heard tonight. The poems in this book there's only a few that are actually sexy, but almost all of them are horny and nasty. As you'll soon see. This one is called The Song About Being a Person. A doctor instructed me to do a stretch that involves flattening a line of ants with my ass. She was very specific. Not spiders or beetles, she insisted. She almost certainly prescribed the stretch because she's sexually excited by ants. Under her white coat, she was probably covered in them. I don't think less of her as a doctor because of this. I relate to her more as a person. In fact, it reminds me of the chorus from that Bob Dylan song about being a person that goes, "It would bring me to orgasm if my cock were covered in ants." This one's called A Non-Zero Number. How many people have fallen out the window of my apartment? It's an old room with a big window, so probably at least a prosthetic leg. I'm exhausted by buildings so new it seems impossible, with one body, to have enough sex or produce enough corpses to even prove they exist. To stand in such a place feels like floating in an invisible bathtub. I like to live places people have left in every possible trajectory. This one is called There's a Woman with a Special Talent. She can always tell when someone is screaming. Doesn't matter who it is, or where they are, or what language they speak. She can tell by the volume of their voice. I read about her in the newspaper. All I can think about is her body, but it's not my fault. The photo of her in the newspaper was only of her cunt. They did the same thing for that story about the earthquake. This is called Internet Picture. the enchanted sinus infection. The phrase sour, sour pinecone fish on a restaurant's menu made me laugh so hard, hot coffee came out my nose, which was odd because I hadn't been drinking any. It poured out until the entire table was soaked. Several people approached to ask me if a doctor was needed, and I said no. I knew I was discovering how the magic of language manifests itself in my life as some kind of enchanted coffee sinus infection. This is called witch boner. Fall is my favorite weather. In a dream, Jasmine fucked a woman in a grocery store who was wearing a prepackaged nylon witch costume while yelling, "I'm not gay, this is just my witch boner." From across the street, my apartment building appears to have unfamiliar additions, columns and turrets and silos jutting out of the walls and roof at impossible angles. Only witch boners could live there. I know because of the way I learned about sex. I was looking out my bedroom window in the house where I grew up, and from that angle, the neighbor's yard looked like a wilderness that went on forever. I wanted to go there, but if I turned my head even slightly, the fence reappeared. This one's called The Inflatable Pool Raft at Sea. Not many people accidentally call a phone sex line when they're trying to reach a suicide prevention hotline, but when you meet one, it's like meeting the president. It's said some people become politicians because others inherently defer to them. The way your body defers, spasmed across town by the chance the ambulance won't get there in time. A dead person you could identify by touch. Of course, she's drunk, throwing wine glasses at the EMTs. As usual, not being dead in a way that launched 1,000 boats. Or at least one stupid boat. That's probably just an inflatable pool raft. She's not being dead with a grandiosity you could march to. This one's called Confessional. Is it worrisome that I like digging up dead bodies and putting sunglasses on them more than I like IPAs? I tried burying an IPA and then digging it up once, in hopes that I'd like it more, but the sunglasses didn't fit and it was still too bitter and hoppy. I love porters, but I love them so much I'm actually ashamed. You're the first person I've ever admitted this to. This one's called Senior Housing. I can't remember why Tim drew a dick he'd seen that resembled a Christmas tree, though I clearly remember that he drew ornaments on it. Identity is memories, a growing collection of Christmas tree dick ornament memories, without reason, which makes something as reasonable as a home seem like a completely inappropriate container for old people. Okay, this is called pastaphilia. At a party in a century-old train car, we dance on the table, stepping in cake, knocking over glasses. Everyone present agrees this train car, which once belonged to FDR, true story, is among the few beautiful things left in town. We thrash in its fringe of curtains, which resemble sheets of gold noodles, until the dust flies from them, yelling pastaphilia in fake Italian accents. And I wonder what it is about new snow that makes me run through it. Later, in our bed, I touch you everywhere, looking for the damage. All right, I got one more. This is called The Language of Cum. The saddest thing I ever learned is most people's cum is a foreign language, retaining a fraction of its alien beauty, if you're lucky, by the time you've learned what it means. Or worse, it is calculus. Like snow, every orgasm with my first love turned the house where I grew up into a place where nothing terrible had happened. But of course, the best thing about a new place is meeting new people, and wherever there's more than one person, something terrible happens. What I mean is, I'm not sad because of you. I just wish we could kiss somewhere that isn't melting. Thank you.
One more time for Harper Galvin. Okay, I'm going to close out the night by reading the preface to my book. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks to House Party for hosting. Round of applause for yourselves, for all the readers. If you've not checked out the merch table in the back, do so. All right. Preface. An alternate title for this book could have been Physics is Cool as Fuck and Relativity is the Proof. If you've ever felt the voyeuristic urge to peek into God's diary, or wanted to know what the fruit of knowledge tastes like, or had any question at all about any of the natural goings-on in the shared creation we inhabit called reality, physics is that thing you're looking for. Studying physics is a lot like studying magic, except physics is better than magic because it's real. It's easy to dismiss things like astrology and witchcraft as silly and therefore stupid, but at the end of the day, all they're trying to do is provide something that everyone wants. A fundamental, no bullshit explanation for why the world is the way it is. And if you really want to know the answer though, like you truly actually want to know, and you're not just trying to justify your purchase of a healing crystal that looks admittedly fucking sick, the simplest and most elegant explanation for the behavior of the universe will always be physics. And this sucks to hear because the so-called simplest and most elegant explanation also happens to be the one that involves a lot of math. Like, so much math. Years and years of schooling just to begin to understand whatever crazy son of a bitch idea those groovy-looking chalkboard equations are trying to convey. And having a flustered professor flail their arms around a lectern to remind you we have a midterm next Tuesday isn't always helpful. I don't know, dude, I thought this class was supposed to be about fluid, and we've spent the last few weeks studying balls and bins. What? But after you get past the academic ass beating that is a higher education in physics, you begin to realize that what initially seemed like an impossible task, to describe reality in the most precise language possible, is actually a lot simpler than we thought. Once you've waterboarded yourself with all the math necessary to have a grown-up conversation about nature, it turns out that the universe really does follow a handful of rules and patterns that hold across every important instance, and that the exceptions to these are the subject of intense investigation by humanity's greatest minds. General relativity is one such theory that attempts to swallow the entire universe. It's particularly sexy because it gives us a meta-language for the events happening inside it, and also for the universe itself and how it's structurally changing. This is the kind of science, if you're a real freak, that you dream about understanding since you were a kid. Science that's deeper than chemical reactions or how the clouds make rain. Now we can talk about the fabric of reality itself and how it changes across higher dimensions. I'm talking about motherfucking space and motherfucking time. This is why relativity is actually beautiful and why there's an abstract breasty math woman spreading her legs for you on the front cover. Because the theory is an exceedingly elegant way of describing essential features of our world, gravity. In terms of a gorgeous mathematical structure, differential geometry, they get so many things right. It's cuckoo bananas how predictably powerful this theory is, how many problems it solves, and how many discoveries it was able to anticipate. It's almost as if the universe's creator made a mistake in letting us in on their secrets, as if by pushing back the curtains to reality, we're seeing something forbidden and learning things we weren't ever meant to know. My goal in this book is to cover all the basic theories of general relativity, showing you how the math works, taking little as granted for possible. It's not necessary then to have taken any physics classes beyond high school, since I try and cover all the necessary background here. The ideal reader will be familiar with electromagnetism and differential equations though, since they provide tricks and shortcuts that set you up nicely to make the jump to relativity. The primary reference texts used are First Course in Relativity by Bernard Schutz and Space-Time and Geometry by Sean Carroll. They're direct inspirations, not just for the order in which they present the theory, but also for most of the included figures. Whenever I'm unsure of a derivation, then I'll refer to either of these in a footnote. Anytime an equation has a number next to it, that means it's important, and it'll get referenced later. Same goes for terms written in bold, and to a lesser extent those in italics. I participate in the convention of using naturalized units, which means I set physical constants like the speed of light c and Einstein's gravitational constant g equal to 1, so they disappear from the math, and so you can focus in on only what's most important. For this reason, you might find differences in the equations you see in this book and the equations you're bound to see out on the streets. Because of the non-traditional voice in which this book is written, a big question I've been asking myself is who it's written for. Many people that obtain a copy, thank you so much by the way, will have minimal background or interest in physics and probably haven't thought about that shit since high school, if ever. Most people aren't going to read it closely and flip through the book like it's a coffee table book, letting the equations wash over their eyes and just scan the footnotes and captions for dick jokes. There aren't that many, but I think there are enough. If this is you, know that I would do the same thing in your position. This is ultimately a textbook, and there are very few monsters in the world capable of breezing through a textbook like it were a paperback novel. So at the end of the day, I'm really writing this book for myself. I'm not the only sicko out there who wants something like this to exist, and while I appreciate the opportunity to contribute probably the only existing physics book to the niche world of experimental nonfiction, it was conceived out of reasons that have nothing to do with any kind of audience. It's just the process of learning relativity is one I find to be so fascinating, and the opportunity to teach the theory in my own voice is a unique exercise in sitting with an idea and not moving on to the next one until I can explain it to myself. Few can claim to have done something like this, so I take immense pride in the fact that for a short amount of time in my life, I was allowed into the global stadium of people who can claim to understand how the universe operates at a fundamental level. The thing is, most of the population exists outside of that stadium. Writing a book isn't just hard for the years it takes drafting and editing, but also because it's really fucking lonely. There's many things you don't get to do, and you learned so many lessons about the world that have nothing to do with whatever you're writing about. So it's a really nice thing that being the author, I can express myself however the fuck I want, and to be able to have these feelings validated by other artists who know exactly what it's like to give so much to yourself, give so much of yourself to a project that matters only to you. So I had genuine fun writing and editing this book, even when it was really challenging, and to call it finished is a dream come true. If I've ever sent you a draft, take this as a sign. You mean a lot to me, and as proof of my appreciation that you expressed enough interest in me to show you a work in progress at any stage of its creation. To that end, let me extend a sincere gratitude to everyone who's helped put this book together, starting with the figures and illustrations. Thank you to Noel Velez for doing such a great job of drawing the front cover, and to Arthur Laird of Fixate for making each of his books 12 figures cohesive. Arthur is right there. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Arthur. I also want to thank every teacher of mine that's helped me along the way from grade school to grad school. They all got to see so many weird sides of me, and while some of them were impressed by my math and writing skills, a lot of them got to watch me fuck my life up in slow motion. They're all collectively responsible for moving me along the conveyor belt that's leading to this book you're holding right now, and I look forward to letters I get to send them where I can thank them personally. Lastly, I want to thank my family, and I'm lucky to say I mean every single member on both sides, because they've all encouraged me from a really young age to foster a sense of wonder about the universe in a special way that's persisted into adulthood. My parents and my sister in particular, and my sister's here, give her a round of applause. My parents and my sister in particular provided a loving, nurturing environment for me throughout my life. They paved the way for me to pursue degree after degree in search of deeper knowledge about the universe. Thank you for believing in me, and for loving me so deeply. Ultimately, I hope this book makes some complicated concepts a little less intimidating and a traditionally gate-kept theory a little more accessible. The secrets of the universe that relativity tells are wondrous and profound, but most of all, they deserve to be understood by everybody.
Woo! Yeah.
Thanks so much, and have a nice night.
Hey, Ashley.
I really love the first one more because the second one involved yearning for someone on delusions.
It's not yearning. That's not what it is. I said I recognize somebody.
Okay.
There's no yearning involved, okay?
I don't write poems about everyone I run into.
Well, I do, okay? It's my thing, it's my trademark.
Daddy would get mad if I wrote
You can write about whatever you want to write about.
It was studying for class. Like, I found it like I wrote it for myself.
Thank you for watching, everybody. What a night. Congratulations on the book. Super dope.
Adam S. isn't even watching right now.
You're what?
Adam
Adam
S.
S,
isn't
okay.
even watching right now.